Previously on Comics Café.
Mason is just the worst.
When I walked into class this morning, Mason already had everyone chanting, "Space girl, space girl."
Ever since he found out that I was from Oregon, he told everyone that I moved here in a covered wagon.
Hey, Blakester, how are we doing?
Hey, what's going on, Mister?
And if it isn't Cheese Girl?
Oh, goody. My new nickname.
Mason and I are bros now, but I'm not sure the others like having him around for some reason. This week, Taylor learns something that changes the way she sees Mason.
Okay, that's my 15 minutes until we open alarm. The old-fashioned donuts are baking at 350 degrees. The coffee is brewing. Still need to start a pot of decaf. And boil water in case anyone wants tea. Bri and Taylor should be here in about 3, 2, 1. Right on schedule.
Are you sure it was him?
100%. I knew he looked familiar, but I couldn't put it all together.
It's impossible. Do they know how mean he is?
Maybe not.
We need to report this.
To who?
I don't know, the church people.
I don't think it works like that.
Well, I'm curious.
Mrs. K, we just saw something unusual.
It was the strangest thing in the history of strange things. We were just at church.
Me too. How'd you like it?
It was pretty cool, actually, but we saw Mason there.
Of course, he and his parents are there every week. They sit way on the left.
Mason goes to church every week, but he was mean to me. Isn't church just like for nice people?
I'd say church is for everyone because God's plan is for everyone.
Okay, look. See, I'm cool with being nice to Mason, but if he bullies people, then how can he be part of God's plan?
You know, you've all had a tough time getting to know Mason. There might be some really good things about him that you just haven't seen yet.
I don't get it.
I think you need to get to know him a bit more. I'd be glad to help, but I think the donuts are done. Just a moment.
So, how do we find out more about Mason without actually spending time with Mason?
If only we knew someone who had detective skills.
Oh no.
This sounds like a job for the Detective. And her sidekick, Taylor.
Do you just always have these on you?
Be prepared. That's my motto.
Yeah, you just stole the Scouts motto.
It's time to investigate.
Why do you have that notebook again?
It's a secret agent thing.
I don't think this is gonna work.
Just stick to the script. It'll be perfect.
Hey, Oregonian, just here for my weekly order of donuts.
Yes, how many would you like?
24, glazed, just like every week. You should really know that by now.
Right. So, I saw you last week on Center Ave, and I was just wondering if you lived by there.
No, I like to visit the animal shelter there. Here, take a look.
Are those bunnies?
Yeah, I like to go, like once a week. They say the human interaction is good for them, you know?
They're so fluffy. I mean, that's neat. Wait, what's that picture?
Oh, okay, so you know how Ricky Riordan brings 4 pairs of shoes with him to school every day? We hid all of them.
Yeah, I saw that. Didn't he have to go to gym class in his socks?
Yeah, and he even had to ride the bus home in his socks. It was so funny. Oh, man. Oh, I should really thank you, by the way. I mean, not just you, but all of you. My coolness factor is up like 10,000% ever since I started bringing donuts to practice.
I didn't think you could get any cooler.
I know. Last year, no matter how many goals I scored, I felt like I never got the respect that I truly deserved. Like my greatness was just at a grasp. But ever since I started bringing donuts, hey, I'm the most popular kid on the hockey team. Oh, you know what? Actually, I don't need them right now. Is it okay if I come back in like 2 hours for a fresh batch?
Why?
Well, A few friends and I from the hockey team like to go to different parks every Sunday and clean up the trash there. And we'll want to eat the donuts after that.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Cool. Here's some money. Just keep the change. Hey, Bri. Nice hat.
Well, that was confusing.
How can someone be both bad and good at the same time?
And he left a tip. No one ever leaves tips.
Maybe it's all an act to throw us off.
But he didn't even know that we were investigating him.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he's an evil twin, and his good twin goes to a different school. But they switch places once a month.
That's my ask Bri and Taylor why they're acting like detectives alarm.
Really?
No, we're supposed to get a package delivered. But when I suggested learning more about Mason, I expected you to just talk to him, not launch an investigation.
But I still don't understand. Mason's like both bad and good at the same time.
Just like everyone else, none of us are perfect. I'm certainly not. Oh, time to wipe down the displays.
I'll get it.
Oh, thanks, Taylor. Now, where was I?
Saying something crazy about you not being perfect.
Believe me, it's true. I always wanted to be perfect, though. And when I was in 5th grade, my family and I moved a few towns from here, and
I didn't know that.
I didn't know about God then. And I was really angry that my parents made us move. I ignored my teachers. I just snapped at everyone who tried to talk to me. I never could have imagined that I was part of a bigger plan, God's plan.
So, did you just have to do enough good stuff to get to be a part of God's plan?
I think it's a bit more complicated than that.
You can say that again.
Later, I noticed that God would always use totally unexpected people to do great things.
Can you tell us one of those stories?
Sure. That alarm can wait. So, when I think about God's plan being for everyone, I especially think of a woman named Ruth.
Hey everyone, I'm Jarek. Have you ever felt left out like everyone else has something you don't? Did I miss something? In Comics Café today, both Mason and Mrs. Kirby were talking about feeling left out.
Last year, no matter how many goals I scored, I felt like I never got the respect that I truly deserved.
And Mrs. Kirby said something really important about God's plan.
I'd say church is for everyone because God's plan is for everyone.
But if he bullies people, then how can he be part of God's plan?
Like Bri and Taylor, you might wonder, how does that work really? God doesn't leave anyone out of his plan. And how do you get to be a part of God's plan? Does it depend on how good you are, what you do, or where you're from? To find out, let's look at the story Mrs. Kirby was about to tell. The story of a woman named Ruth. Ruth had just moved a long way from her home in Moab to the country of Israel.
Oh, hello. I'm Ruth. I'm new to the land of Israel. My mother-in-law needed some help, so I moved here. It really is a lovely place.
God had chosen the people of Israel for a special purpose, but some of the Israelites thought that meant God only cared about them and not about people like Ruth.
Yeah, God made us a promise, not them. I do feel left out sometimes. I don't have a family, except for my mother-in-law. I don't have much money. I have to gather grain that's left over on the ground every day just to eat.
If you asked someone back then, who do you think is going to be a part of God's plan? They might have said,
Like everyone from Israel? God chose us to be his people after all.
what about Ruth?
Ruth? She has barely any family, no money, and can barely survive. No way. Plus, she looks nothing like us. Besides, she's from Moab. They worship idols and don't even know God. That's true. I didn't learn about God until recently, but the more I learn about him, the more I want to follow him.
Ruth did follow God. She trusted him, no matter how bad things got. She chose to do what God said, instead of following the made-up gods from Moab. And Ruth didn't know it, but God was going to do something amazing through her. Check this out. Ruth married someone in Israel, and she became the mother of Obed. And Obed became the father of Jesse, and Jesse became the father of...
King David, the greatest king Israel ever had.
And it doesn't even stop there. A long, long time later, Ruth's actually, that'd be 27 greats, so I'll just say great-great-grandson was born. And his name was Jesus. God chose Ruth, someone who had almost nothing, to be an ancestor of Jesus.
Why? Did she win a contest or something?
No, Ruth was faithful to God, but God didn't choose her because she was perfect. Here's what I think we can learn from Ruth's story. God's plan is for everyone. Someone doesn't have to look like us or act like us or be perfect to be part of God's plan.
Huh. Interesting.
Every person we meet is someone God knows, loves, and has a plan for, even people who don't look or act like we expect. In a moment, we'll find out if that changes how Taylor and Bri see Mason or not.
So, Ruth probably felt left out like you did, Mrs. K.
And like Mason did last year.
Yeah, but Ruth acted much more wisely than I did. And her story reminds me that God cares and knows about me, but also everyone else too. God designed everyone we'll ever meet.
But Mason is so different from me and from Taylor and from you. Can we all really be a part of God's plan?
I think so. Look at this.
Ooh, pretty.
This is a gemstone. See how it reflects the light?
Yeah, like 1,000 little sparkles.
That's because it has little flat sections called facets, and each of them reflect the light just a little differently than the others. Like that, each of us is different.
Each of us is a faucet.
Facet. And God is like the light that each of us is meant to reflect. Each of us is made to show what God is like in slightly different ways.
Even Mason.
Even Mason.
So he really is a part of God's plan.
We all are. And this shines right now, but with polishing and refining, it can shine even brighter.
So should we put Mason through like a car wash or something?
I get it, Mrs. K. It's like how you and Mr. Kirby have, believed in us and listened to us and cared about us. It's sort of like you're helping us shine brighter.
Yeah, totally.
And God wants us to do the same with Mason?
I think that's an excellent idea. Speaking of which, we should probably get started on those fresh donuts that he ordered.
Oh, hey, my people! Listen, I know I'm a little bit early. I'm just waiting on my bros. Told them that this place was, pretty cool, and they thought that they should come over here to eat their donuts after we got done cleaning the park. Might get you guys some extra customers.
That's really great, Mason.
Yeah, well, I'm just, basically the greatest of all time.
I thought that was Michelle Jordan.
Do you mean Michael Jordan?
Oh.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. Michelle Jordan. That could be the name of our character for our English story project.
Oh. I guess it could be. It's due tomorrow.
Mason, I just wanted to let you know, you are always welcome here.
Oh, great. Yeah, I don't just, grace any place with my epic presence, so.
Yeah, I know. Also, you should say hi at church next time.
Oh, wait, do you guys go to my church?
Taylor brought me for the first time today.
That's awesome, you guys. I have to introduce you to Pastor Eric. He's so cool. He's been with me through everything.
Mason? How many people did you say were coming?
Just the team.
The whole hockey team?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll go get more donuts. We did not plan for this.
I think God did, though.